Hello, friends, family, and others. Today I have been overcome by the seething desire to talk about mythos. And since there are no insane people around who will let me ramble to them for hours on end, I decided that this would be the best option to me. And so today, the plan is that I am going to sit here and talk about Orpheus and Eurydice and paint my nails. So let's just jump right into it. So Orpheus, he is a musician. And by God does he play music. He plays the music so good. He plays it so stinking good, dude. People are being fertile, the crops are growing, everything is going great because of the beautiful, beautiful music that this man plays. And there is this woman that he fancies. Her name is Eurydice. She is beautiful and she is a singer. She sings beautifully and she's a beautiful singer. And Orpheus is smitten. He is absolutely in love with this woman. And he tells her, he's like, hey, you are so hot. Please be my wife. And she says yes. So they get married. And then one day she's out in the woods having a grand old time and she gets bitten by a snake. She gets fatally bitten by a snake, so she straight up just dies. And Orpheus is so sad. He says, that bitch was so fucking fine and now she's dead. Ah! Saddest shit ever. So he has this friend who's like, dude, you should go to Hades, the place, to meet Hades, the person, to ask him if you can take Eurydice out of Hades, the place. And Orpheus says, wow, that is a fucking great idea. So he decides that he will go into the kingdom of the dead. He will go into Hades, the place, to ask Hades, the person, to take his wife out. And so Orpheus heads to Tartarus, which is, where you would go during that time. And he meets Chiron or Charon probably, who is the boatman who takes the shades across the river Styx to Hades, the place. And he asks Charon, he says, hey Charon, I need to get to Hades, the place, so that I can ask Hades, the person, if I can have my wife, Eurydice, back. And Charon says, first of all, no. Fuck you, pay me, is what he says, verbatim. And he also says, you are clearly not dead, and I only offer rides to people who are dead. And Orpheus is so sad. So stinking sad. And so he sits down and he plays his beautiful music to mourn the fact that he will not get across the river of Styx. And he plays so beautifully that Charon is like, dude, that was beautiful. I'm a big fan of what you just did. And Orpheus is like, thanks, take me across the river. And Charon said, you know what? I will. So he gets on the boat and he goes across the river through all these, tormented souls in the river, and he finally arrives in Hades, the place, and he goes to meet Hades, the person, and he sees that Hades, the person, no, next to Hades, the person, Eurydice is sitting. And he's like, oh my god, that's my wife. And Hades is like, hey, dude, what are you doing down here? I couldn't help but notice that you are, alive. And Orpheus says, yeah, my wife, she sings beautifully, she's beautiful, I love her, I would prefer it if you let me take her upstairs, And Hades says, no, she is dead, so it would, no. Smile. No heart. He does the Twitter stand thing where he says no, and then adds a heart emoji. And Orpheus decides that, or he thinks back on when he was not allowed to go over the river Styx, and he remembers that Charon was convinced by his beautiful playing, so he decides, maybe I can play this beautiful tune for Hades, the person, and maybe he will let me have my wife. So he plays, and he plays beautifully, but Hades, the person, is unmoved. He's like, it's okay, I've heard better. But Hades' wife, Persephone, she is moved. She is so moved. She is crying. She says, oh my god, beautiful. Bravissimo, bravissimo, mwah, mwah. And she says, oh, dear Hades, my husband, won't you please let this beautiful musician take his beautiful wife out of Hades, the place, and back to the world, I guess? I don't know. And Hades is like, fine. So he says, on one condition. You will walk up, and she will walk behind you, but she cannot speak, and you cannot look back at her until both of them are in the light of the sun. And Orpheus is like, fine, I can do that. That is easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And he decides that, oh, man, I'm gonna do it. I'm not sure if she's even following me at all, but, Hades said that he promised, and he didn't, even wink after, or, have his hands behind his back so that he could have, his fingers crossed behind his back. And he started walking, and the further he got, the more nervous he got about if she was actually following him. He started doubting himself, he started doubting Hades, the person, and he was like, wow, what if she's not even behind me? So just as he came and he saw the light of the sun, he was too curious. He was like, I don't know. I really do not know. And he turned around. And almost immediately she was slipped away, dragged back, and there was an air that he could feel between his arms when he stretched them out to embrace her. But she was gone. A moment later, she was gone. There was only silence and despair. And he tried to go back. He said, oh my god, Charon, pretty please. Please. And Charon said, no dude, you had your chance. It was so easy. It was one task, and you fucked it up, dude. So that's on you completely. I don't even care if you play, that one song I really like. The Smash Mouth one. And so Orpheus, he was like, this fucking sucks. He's so sad. So stinking sad. But he is forced to return to his town. But his sadness, oh man, it doesn't end. He's playing sad songs on his little music. I think it's a lyre. It's probably a lyre. I could check that, but I'm not gonna. And he plays sad songs on his stupid lyre. And it is so sad that women everywhere are having miscarriages, and crops everywhere are just fucking dying, dude. It sucks. It is some bad music. It is so sad and so bad that eventually a group of irate women, a group of angry ladies, decide that they have had enough. They say no more miscarriage tunes. No more. So they decide that they are going to rip him apart. And they do, because they are determined. They have a goal in mind and they achieve it. Because they are not procrastinators, and they are also tired of having miscarriages. Which I understand, probably. I think if I was having miscarriages because this one guy who was just like, oh, I accidentally looked at my wife when Hades, the person, said I couldn't, you know? I would also be like, fuck this guy. Fuck him. Fuck all of this guy. So they ripped him apart. They tore him to shreds. And while he was dead, while he was, torn into shreds, the muses, I think there are 3 muses, they gathered his limbs and they buried him somewhere, I guess. And wherever he is buried, there's a bunch of nightingales sitting over his stupid grave, and they are crying. But the thing about it is that the muses, they could not find his head, because those fucking angry ass women, they were like, fuck this guy. So they threw it in the river, and it kept singing, kept singing all the way through the stream. And yeah, I don't remember what happens with it, but it's probably another myth or something. I don't know. Shit just like gets entwined when it comes to stuff like that. Like the end of one myth is the start of another one. Like that other one. So here are my nails. I did them real good. Thank you. Goodbye.